If you're searching Minnesota debt relief, you've probably been looking at the same credit card balance for months, wondering why it won't move. And look, I get it. So let me give you the straight answer in the next 4 minutes. Hi, I'm Rob, and I've spent 2 decades in the financial industry. Here's what we're covering: 3 real debt relief options for Minnesota residents, how debt settlement actually works, the Minnesota law that protects you, and 1 federal rule that means you don't pay a dollar until results happen first. Minnesota looks great on paper. Credit scores here are among the highest in the country. But here's what nobody talks about. Balances keep climbing even with strong scores. If your minimum payments are eating your paycheck, that's not a personal failing. That's just math. Rising costs catching up with a steady income. Many people in Minnesota pick the wrong debt relief option. Not because they're not trying, but because nobody actually explains the differences. So let me break down the 3 main options. First, we have credit counseling. A nonprofit agency sets up a repayment plan with your creditors. You still pay back the full balance, just on an organized schedule. This works well when your income is steady and the total debt is manageable. Second, debt consolidation. You take out 1 new loan to pay off all your credit cards and then repay that loan over time. But here's the thing. If your credit has already taken a hit, you probably won't qualify for a rate that helps. For a lot of Minnesota residents already behind on payments, this one's off the table. And third, we have debt settlement. A company negotiates with your creditors to accept less than the full balance you owe. And this is usually right fit when the total amount is the real problem, not just keeping up with monthly payments. Which one fits you comes down to 3 things: your credit, your income, and whether you can realistically pay back the full amount on your current path. A lot of people in Minnesota hear debt settlement and think it sounds too good to be true. So let me show you exactly how it works for Minnesota residents in 3 steps. Step 1, instead of sending payments to your credit card companies, you make 1 monthly deposit into an FDIC insured account that you own and you control. Step 2, your dedicated team at Freedom Debt Relief negotiates with your creditors on your behalf, bringing over 20 years of experience and relationships with more than 5,000 creditors to the table. Step 3, you review and approve every settlement before anything is finalized. Nothing moves without your say. Now here's the honest trade-off. Your credit score will likely take a hit during the debt settlement program because accounts typically go delinquent while negotiations happen. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but you could resolve your balance for less than you owe, and most people finish within 24 to 48 months, and over 70% of members get their first settlement within 3 months. Over 1 million members have chosen the Freedom Debt Relief Program, and more than $20 billion in unsecured debt has been resolved since 2002. Before you commit to any debt relief program in Minnesota, you need to know what's protecting you legally. Most people have no idea these exist. Under Minnesota Statute Section 541053, a debt collector has 6 years from the last activity on your account to sue you for most consumer debt, including credit cards and medical bills. After that window, the debt becomes time barred and the legal right to sue is lost. Minnesota also limits how much creditors can take from your paycheck. Under the Minnesota Debt Fairness Act, which took full effect on April 1st, 2025, wage garnishment for consumer debt is capped at 25%, 15%, or 10% of disposable earnings depending on your weekly income. And that's more protective than the federal flat 25% cap. Now here's the federal rule that matters most for debt relief. The FTC telemarketing sales rule means a debt relief company cannot charge you any fees until they've actually settled the debt, you've agreed to it, and you've made at least 1 payment. Before all 3 happen, you owe nothing. Freedom Debt Relief operates under this rule. Minnesota Debt Relief comes down to those 3 paths: credit counseling when the debt is manageable, consolidation when your credit qualifies you for a better rate, and debt settlement when the total balance is the real problem. The first step with Freedom Debt Relief is free. You can go to freedomdebtrelief.com for a free debt evaluation with a certified debt consultant. No pressure, no obligations, just a clear look at your options. Freedom Debt Relief is A+ accredited with the Better Business Bureau and rated excellent on Trustpilot. You're not stuck in Minnesota. You just didn't have the full picture. Now you do.